والله يدعو إلى دار السلام ويهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم.
Islam 101.
Bismillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah amma ba'du. Welcome to a new episode of Islam 101, and I'm your host, Abu Usamah Adh Dhahabi. Today, inshallah, we're going to deal with some of the many misconceptions that people have about the religion of Islam. And when I mention people, I'm talking about Muslims and non-Muslims alike. We're not just talking about the non-Muslims. They have quite a few misconceptions, but also our brothers and sisters from the religion have some misconceptions, some of which may render a person's Islam null and void. In particular, those Muslims who are liberal, who believe all of the spokes lead to the center. Everyone's religion is okay. We're brothers to everyone. The rainbow coalition type Muslims. So we want to deal with some of these issues, inshallah, maybe about 5 or 6, hopefully, if time permits. The first one that we want to deal with is the concept that some people believe, and they say that Al-Islam was spread by the sword, and that Al-Islam, in particular the Quran, it orders with terrorism, orders us to wage campaigns in which we terrorize other people because they're not Muslims. And people even claim that the verses of the Quran clearly suggest this and state this by using words like terrorize. There is an ayat or a verse in the Quran that is called Ayatul Sayf, the verse of the sword, no doubt. And that verse has abrogated more verses than any other verse of the Quran. And part of what that verse says is, فَقْتُلُ الْمُشْرِكِينَ حَيْثُ وَجَدْتَمُوهُمْ. Kill the polytheists wherever you may find them. It does say that. And we'll come back and we'll explain it, inshallah, because it's a misconception. There's another verse that the people draw to your attention that say that Al-Islam, they say Al-Islam is ordering with terrorism. And that is the statement where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Muslims in the Quran, وَأَعِدُّوا لَهُمْ مَسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن قُوَّةٍ وَمِن رِبَاطِ الْخَيْرِ تُرْهِبُونَ بِهِ عَدُوَّ اللَّهِ وَعَدُوَّكُمْ. Prepare whatever you can prepare, O Muslims, from your strength and your power, and from the strong horses and the steeds from the horses, so that you can turhibuna bihi, so that you can strike terror into the hearts of Allah's enemies and your own enemies. So this word turhibun, this verb, comes from the word irhab, or terrorist. Terrorism comes from that word, no doubt about it. Concerning this point, we're going to very quickly try to explain it very quickly. As it relates to the ayat of as-sayf, the verse of the sword, this verse has been misunderstood by many people, and we'll try to explain it by giving you the backdrop of what happened during Prophet Muhammad's time. Prophet Muhammad came to his people in his environment, and he started to call them to Al-Islam in Mecca. And he had a few followers, and they were weak, and they were oppressed, and they were being persecuted and punished by the non-Muslims. At that time, because of the weakness of the Muslims, they were ordered by Allah to turn the other cheek, so to speak. They weren't allowed to fight back because they didn't have the ability or the might to fight back. So they were ordered, don't fight back, because if you try to fight back, then the non-Muslims are going to pulverize you. They're going to annihilate you. Just be patient. So the Muslims continue to give the call to Al-Islam. More people embraced the religion. More people, despite the opposition that came from the chieftains and the leaders who had everything to lose if the people became Muslims. When the Muslims formed a formidable force to deal with the non-Muslims, Allah ordered Rasulullah and his companions to migrate, and they went to Medina. At that time, they established the Islamic State. When the Muslims became strong enough, the ayat, the verse of the Sayf was revealed. Fight them and kill them wherever you find them. Meaning, Fight them and kill them wherever you find them if they oppose you now, and if they fight against you now, if they try to extinguish the light of Islam, if they lie in wait and they catch you and they kill you and they break their contracts of peace, then fight them. Not like it was in the beginning. Turn the other cheek. Be patient. Later on, this ayat is talking about, and it should be understood like that, that if these people fight against you now, and they do to you what they were doing to you before, now that you can protect yourself, and you have the right to self-preservation, now you can fight them back. And you can kill them wherever you find them, meaning sacred mosque in Mecca. The sacred mosque, the holy mosque, is the Kaaba. The non-Muslims and the Muslims used to respect that place in the time, at the beginning of Islam and before Islam. A man would not fight at that particular place. But this ayat is saying, even if this man who is a non-Muslim who's fighting against you, if he runs to the sacred mosque and he arrives there, because of his transgressions, don't allow the sacred mosque to become a deterrent as to not killing him. No, you can kill him even there. You can kill him in the sacred months. There are 4 sacred months in Islam, where the Arabs of that time, they would forego any fighting and any disputes out of respect and honor of that particular month. But those non-Muslims, they used to fight the Muslims in that month. So the ayat or the verse is saying, if they fight you in that month, then you fight them back. That's the understanding of the verse. And it's similar to any one of us. I live in America, and in America we have laws that protect us. I'm in my home. If anyone trespasses and he comes into my home, I have the right to bear arms. If someone comes into my home, inside of my home, and he tries to bring harm to me or my family, and I took the appropriate actions, and I use lethal force to protect myself and my family, nothing is going to happen to me in a court of law in America. If I go out and I initiate the violence, then I'm in trouble. But if he comes into my home, then I will be protected under the law. In certain states in America, especially the southern states, they give people the right to carry concealed weapons. Texas, Florida, and Philadelphia, you can carry a concealed weapon, a real gun. You can carry it around and no one sees it. If someone on the outside of your home, if someone comes and they try to do you harm, try to do your family harm, and you protected yourself, under the law in America, you are protected by the law. So it's the same concept in the religion of Islam. So can anyone come and say now that in America the law is encouraging people to go around and kill everyone? No. What happened in Columbine with those young students who are disenfranchised in the school, and they went to the school and they started indiscriminately killing other students. We cannot say that that is the law of America. That's what a group of people did on their own. So as it relates to Islam, it's the same thing. People want to go and they want to blow this one up. They want to kill that one. This is what we find a few people from the Muslims doing, and we do not deny that. But our religion does not allow that. The Prophet ﷺ had a companion. A group of them went on an expedition, and when they arrived to the particular town that they were going to fight, they killed all of the people in the town, the old men, the old women, and even the children. When Rasulullah ﷺ, Prophet Muhammad, when he came to the town, he saw that the innocent people were killed, the old men and the old women. He said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allahumma inni bari'un mimma sana'a Khalid. Oh Allah, I'm free from what Khalid ibn Walid did here today. And then he told the people, do not kill old people. Do not kill children. Do not kill women. Do not kill the innocents. That's our religion. So just as Rasulullah ﷺ disconnected himself from the action of his companion, we disconnect ourselves from the actions of certain Muslims who oppress people and kill people unjustly. They kill them unjustly. But again, we don't apologize for what our religion is saying in terms of waging war, defending yourself. Everyone has the right for self-preservation. So that is the understanding of that particular ayah. Another misconception that many people have is the misconception that Islam is a religion for Arabs. I don't want to be a Muslim because this is a religion of Arabs. Well, this is the furthest thing away from the truth, because the vast majority of people are not Arabs. Right here, we have 4 Muslims. And from the 4 Muslims, only one of them is an Arab. So 25% of the representation of Islam here is Arab. And that's how it is in the Muslim world. Indonesia, where my brother Noor comes from, he comes from Jakarta, Indonesia, they have over 180 million Muslims. It is the most populated Muslim country in the world. 180 million Muslims. And then we have Muslims from Africa, and we have Muslims from Asia, we have Muslims all over the world, and the Arabs are the minority. So that is not a true depiction of the actual demographics of the religion in terms of who's a Muslim and who's not a Muslim, in terms of the Arabs are the majority of the Muslims. Another misconception as it relates to the Muslims is this concept that some people have that I can only take the Quran and nothing other than the Quran. And they actually use the Quran. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. Whoever doesn't judge by what Allah revealed in the Quran, they are the disbelievers. And that's why we say to the Muslims, and we say to anyone who's watching this program and you're a Muslim, you cannot understand this Quran based upon your own desires. Nor should you understand the Quran based upon your madhab. Nor should you understand the Quran based upon what your people in your country do or your culture. This Quran has to be understood by the way the companions of Rasulullah understood the Quran. It was revealed on them and because of the circumstances that they were dealing with. So when we want to read about the tafsir of the Quran, the explanation of the Quran, we refer back to what they had to say. We refer back to what they mentioned to us. That's the correct understanding. Other than that, it has to be rejected, no matter who it is. So as it relates to that particular verse, those people who say that we only take the Quran and we don't take anything other than the Quran, we don't take the Sunnah. Even if the hadith is mutawatir, there are many narrations. Even if the hadith is in Sahih Bukhari or Muslim, the two most authentic books of hadith that have collected the hadith of the Prophet, they say we don't accept it, we only take the Quran. The person who says this, in essence, he is a kadhab. He's a pathological, chronicle liar. Because if you only took the Quran, and the Quran is the kalam of Allah, if you only took the Quran and you looked for guidance in only the Quran, you are not going to know how to make the prayer of the Muslims. You are not going to know how to give the zakat of the Muslims. You are not going to know how to fast correctly in the month of Ramadan. You're not going to know about eating before the Fajr time. You're not going to know about how and when to break the fast. You're not going to know about the miswak and all of those issues that are connected to Ramadan. You're not going to know about the salat of at-tarawih, the nighttime prayer in Ramadan, because all of those issues are not mentioned in the Quran. He would not know how to make the hajj, what we do at Mina, what should we do at Arafat, what should we do at Muzdalifah. We will not have a concept of the 3 different types of hajj that you can even make. The details of the 3 different distinct and unique types of pilgrimage that the Muslim can make. So, the person who says we only want the Quran, he is lying and he's being duped by shaitan. He doesn't know how to welcome the newborn child. He doesn't know how to bury the dead. He doesn't know how to practice his religion. So we're going to stop here, inshallah, and then when we come back, we're going to deal with the questions and the concerns of our students and our guest here, Peter, inshallah. I know that he always has something to say, and we're looking forward to seeing you, inshallah, and having you to view and to tune in to the second episode of some of the misconceptions about Al-Islam.
Islam 101. Islam 101.
Welcome back to Islam 101, and I'm your host, Abu Usamah Adh Dhahabi. We're going to open the door now, inshallah, for the students to ask their questions or to make their comments concerning this issue of the misconceptions that people have about the religion of Islam. So we'll start with Brother Noor al-Islam.
I'm from Indonesia, so I get in Indonesia Islamic Liberal Network. They say
Islamic
that
Liberal Network?
yes, they say that all religions are same and all religions are accepted by Allah. So I don't know, how can I explain to them that Islam is the only religion accepted by Allah?
Concerning the liberals, whether it's in Indonesia or in other than that, people have to stay in the middle course and they can't go to the extremes. We have those people who are extreme. Muslims who don't want to accept technology and they don't want to catch up with what's going on in the world today. They have a problem with learning other languages. They say that English is the language of the enemy, so they don't want to learn about anything that has to do with technology. This is not acceptable. This is an extreme. We're utilizing technology right now to do our best to spread Islam to the four corners of the world. If it wasn't for Allah and then this technology, we wouldn't be able to hit as many people as we're hitting right now with this explanation of this particular topic. Maybe I can do it in the UK, maybe I can do it in the USA, but my audience is going to be limited. Now look how many people are going to hear what we're saying right now due to technology. So that's an extreme. And the other extreme are those people who see the Muslims who think and act like that, and it causes them to go to the extreme. And it causes them to take the Quran and to take Islam, and they want to take the Quran and they want to put it behind their backs. They want to take the Quran and put it inside of the drawer, and they say that Al-Islam is not appropriate for this time. All of the spokes of the wheel lead to the center. This is a dangerous position to have. And may Allah protect all of us and our family members from falling into this, because this can be kufr. This can lead to disbelief, because it's making takdeeb of the Quran. It's denying what Allah has established in the Quran. Allah mentioned in the Quran, Inna ad-deen inda Allah al-Islam. Verily the religion in Allah's sight, the religion with Allah is al-Islam. It is not Christianity, it's not Judaism, it's not other than that. And Allah mentioned in another verse of the Quran, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Anyone who chooses other than al-Islam as a religion, as a way, it won't be accepted from him. It won't be any other religion. So all of the spokes of the wheel do not lead to the center. The center meaning Allah's pleasure or the paradise. So how can a Muslim read the Quran and be liberal to that degree? Nah, this is not acceptable. This concept is a concept of disbelief. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to everyone, and he said, there is not a Jewish man or a Christian man who hears about me and my religion is explained to him very clearly, and then he doesn't believe in me, except that he's going to be in the hellfire. We mentioned that, not meaning to offend anyone. But the Christian, he doesn't care when he comes and he says, Jesus said this in the Bible, and God said if you don't believe Jesus is his only son. They're not apologetic about making those claims, and I'm going to go to the hellfire because I don't believe Jesus Christ. So why do I have to be apologetic? Rasulullah, he said, whoever hears about me from a Jew or Christian, and he knows what is clear, is explained very clearly, and he doesn't believe in me, then he will be from the people of the hellfire. So with this being the case, the Muslim who makes that statement, he's clearly a secularist Muslim, a person who doesn't have an iota understanding of the reality of the religion of Al-Islam. So how can he say that a person who says that Allah is one, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't exist, how can he possibly say that all of the religions are okay and they're coming from the same source? How is that possible? لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثَ. Verily they have disbelieved those people who say that Allah is one of three. This is not an attempt to offend anyone. We're just making this point. How can a person profess to be a Muslim and he doesn't believe in those things? It's like a Christian person saying, I'm a Christian and I believe that Al-Islam is the truth. Islam is okay. The other Christians are going to say, no, you don't really believe in Christianity. He's a Jewish person. He says, Al-Islam is the truth. I'm a Jewish person, but Islam is the truth. The other Jewish people are going to say, then you're not really truly a Jew. And the Muslims, we say likewise to the Muslim who makes that statement, how are you going to include in the religion those people who Allah, the Most High, hasn't included? So liberalism, this type of liberalism is a danger. It is a danger. Okay, my man, Steve.
My question, why the Muslim, before to pray, she washing his hand and she bow, and then she pray for only from one side? Why? Maybe it should be on this side or this side or this side. Why she didn't pray like that?
What do you mean on one side? On one side of the masjid or in one direction?
One side of masjid, yeah.
Concerning why we make the ablution before we pray, it's because Allah ordered it in the Quran. O you who believe, إِذَا قُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ فَاغْسِلُوا وَجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ مِنَ الْمَرَافِقِ. O you who believe, if you want to make the prayer, then wash your faces and your hands up to the elbow. So Allah ordered that. And the Prophet of Islam, he showed us and he ordered it. So the ablution is a prerequisite for the prayer. And the first answer is because Allah ordered it in the last book that was revealed to mankind, and Rasulullah showed us. The other thing is, as a Christian, and this is what I've been trying to say to you, my man, Steve, or Peter, as a Christian, if the Christian was reading his book, he will find that it has been mentioned in a number of places in the Bible that people would wash up before they prayed. It was mentioned in the Bible that people fell down prostrate on their heads when they prayed. It is depicted for you, the picture of Mary, the mother of the mother of Jesus. She's depicted. How? When you see the pictures of Mary in my mother's house right now, there are pictures of Mary all around. How does she look? She looks like a Muslim woman. She has a head cover. She's dressed with all of that. It's your job and your responsibility, Peter, to say, where does that come from? Where does that come from? Why are they showing Mary like that? And why is it that my sister is dressed in another way? So those are the questions that I used to ask myself. I don't want to be a Christian just because my mother and my father made me a Christian. I want to be a Christian with the scholastic effort being put forth. I want to read what happened to this book, what's being said. And I think that's something that you should do. So we're going to go on to the next question. We'll deal with Muhammad's question.
Yeah, my question, why in Islam can't a woman be an imam or to do the job of a judge? It's because of the weakness in them, or there's some another reasons or wisdom?
The woman in Islam, she can be an imam and she can be a judge. She can be an imam, meaning a leader of the people in her own special way, like our mother Aisha was an imam. She was an imama, a leader of the people. But her being an imam doesn't mean that she has to come to the masjid and lead the people in prayer. Her being an imam or a judge, as she was, doesn't mean that she has to go to the office and sit on the before the people on the bench and hit the mallet and bring the court to order. No. They said about Aisha, Anas ibn Malik said, the men, the companions of the Prophet, we never differed about any issue in the religion. And then we took that issue that we differed upon to Aisha, except that we found the truth with her. She was the one who used to give verdicts. She was the one who used to explain the Quran. She was the one who used to say, this is from the Sunnah, this is from his practice, this is halal, this is haram, permissible, impermissible. She did that though how? From the confines and the privacy of her own home. She was a judge. She was an imama, a leader of the people. No doubt about that. So a woman, she can be an imama and a judge or a qadiyah in this sense. But in other than that, where she has to get out into the society and she becomes a judge who's going to sit before the men and so forth and so on, no. Prophet Muhammad described the woman in Islam and he said, Al-mar'atu awra. The woman is an awra. She's something that should not be seen. She's something meaning any and every person, and every Amr and Bakr and Zayd, every Tom, Dick and Harry should not be allowed to look at the beauty of any Muslim woman. Her beauty is for her family, her husband. Her beauty should only be seen by her sons, by her father, her uncle, and people like that. And if she does come out and she displays herself, then she doesn't make the display that they used to make in the times of ignorance, by coming out in order to have the men to look at her. Look at all of the problems that we're having in corporate America. Look at all of the problems. Every woman now is always on her P's and Q's as it relates to the sexism at the office. The boss is making sexual passes and advances at her. Her co-workers are always trying to go out to have drinks with her. And when she goes out to have drinks, they slip a pill or a drug inside of her drink, ecstasy or other than that. And then what happens is we have date rape. She falls asleep and a man takes liberties with the lady. These are all problems that come as a result of people not recognizing the true position of the woman. In Islam, the place of the woman is in her home. وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرَّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. You women should stay in your homes. You should stay in your home. And do not make the display of the times of Jahiliyyah, the pre-Islamic times. But if she does come out because she wants to get educated in the university, this is permissible. It's highly recommended that there are a group of women who get educated to help our nation to rise up, to meet the challenges of what the future holds for us, inshallah. We don't want ignorant women. We don't want ignorant women. But they cannot do so in a situation or in an example in which they're compromising their honor or their religion. Akhi, amen.
More people in Europe fight the Islam and say the Islam cannot fight the people. How can you change this idea?
Islam came to fight the people.
Oh.
Well, we've been sitting here and we've done a number of segments here. And we've had non-Muslims here, and I don't think those non-Muslims have felt any threat from us. Do you feel threatened, Prita? Is anyone making you afraid or uncomfortable? Is anyone making you afraid or uncomfortable that you're going to lose your life or you're a bad guy? Yeah, he would fight him. He would fight him back. But the thing is, if they want to fight back and they initiate and they want to be oppressive, then we're going to deal with them. But we coexist with people. We coexist with people. Muslims are law-abiding citizens. We're not people. The religion didn't tell us to go out and kill people and to harm people. Allah said in the Quran, Allah does not prohibit you. La yanhaakumullah. Allah does not prohibit you from dealing justly and fairly with those people who do not fight you for your religion. Nor do they expel you from your lands. Allah does not prevent you from dealing kindly with them and having a birr and tabarruhum, to be kind to them and to be just with them. And Allah loves those who are just. So that's how we do. We coexist with them. They're students in our classroom. They are our professors. We're their professors. We rent from them. They rent from us. We buy from them. They buy from us. But if anyone tried to harm a Muslim, he has to defend himself. But he shouldn't be oppressive. So we're going to stop here at this particular point concerning some of the misconceptions that people have before embracing Islam or thinking about Islam. Wish we could have done more, but that's what Allah has wrote for us. Take care. May Allah protect you all, and may He guide all of you and give you the hidayah, the guidance that's needed to navigate your ways through the problems of this life. Wassalam ala man ittaba al-huda.
Islam. Islam.